Hello, friends, and welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey, and today's clothing provided by Kashiyama, the smart tailor, I got fitted, had a great experience, very affordable, by the way. You can find your location and schedule an appointment at Kashiyama1927.com. Now, you heard there from Ezekiel Elliott, and if you missed it a little bit earlier, we'll do it again for you guys. The actual raw Zeke contract details. The full extension, as was reported, was 6 years, $90 million. But as predicted by pretty much everybody, the devil is very much in the details for this deal. This is really, even though it's an 8-year deal in total, it's really a 4-year deal worth about $50 million. That's with the way this deal is structured, with the guaranteed money, the available outs the Cowboys have, the signing bonuses, the option bonuses. That's what this deal really comes down to. And at that point, you're already going to pay Zeke for the first 2 years. You're only adding on 2 more years with what really boiled down to being team options in year 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Now, lots of information here with the Zeke contract, so we'll break it down one by one, starting with what money gets to Zeke each of the years. In 2019, all right, his base salary is barely $750K. That's it. It's a very low base salary. He does, however, get a $7.5 million signing bonus. Now, signing bonuses and other bonuses that we'll get to here in a second are spread out over the first 5 years of a player's contract. So that signing bonus gets split up evenly in 2019, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Now, in 2020, his base salary is $6.8 million. Zeke also gets an option bonus, which is fully guaranteed, worth $13 million. So what that basically does is it acts as a second signing bonus for Zeke, also spaced out over the next 5 years of that contract. Now, this is the unique quirk in this particular deal with Zeke. His 2021 salary actually is guaranteed starting the 5th day of the league year in 2020. But with his option bonus hitting also in 2020, and that's fully guaranteed, they're not going to cut him at that point. His base salary, of course, we mentioned that for 2020, but in 2021, it's 9.6. And then on the 5th day of the league year in 2021, his 2022 salary becomes fully guaranteed. So what that means is, this year, next year, 2021, and 2022, Zeke's pretty much locked in to being a Dallas Cowboy. In 2022, his base salary, $12.4 million. Then, it actually drops. His base salary does. 2023, it's $10.9. 2024, it's a flat $10 million. In 2025, he makes $15.4. In 2026, he makes $16.6. Here's the main takeaways from the way this deal is structured. For starters, his cap hit, it doesn't really change. It's very, very flat. We'll break that down more in depth here in a second, but it pretty much stands flat. The Cowboys can get out of this deal after 4 years. We'll break down what that dead money is here coming up as well. And what I tried to warn everybody was that, make no mistake, Zeke wins with this deal. There's no doubt about that. But frankly, this structure, it's a little bit better than Todd Gurley's structure. That was a big deal for the Dallas Cowboys. So here are the cap hits by year, because I know that was a lot of money to kind of throw at you guys all at once. 6.339. That is actually a drop from what was going to be his cap hit this year. 10.9 next year, an increase. In total, it's like $500,000 increase in cap charges for Zeke Elliott over the next 2 years. That's it. The cap barely rises for the next 2 years for the Cowboys with this new deal with Zeke Elliott. 2021, he makes 13.7 in terms of his cap charge, what actually counts against the salary cap. 2022, 16.5. 2023, 15, and then drops in 2024 down to 12.6. I'll break down in a second why I think that Zeke wanted to have that cap charge actually drop. 2025, it's 15.4, and then 2026, it becomes 16.6. So the dead cap. If, let's say, Zeke hits the RB wall and he falls apart and he's terrible, here's what this means. The first 4 years, it doesn't actually matter. They can't really get out of it and save money. But in 2023, only a $6.7 million dead cap hit. They would actually save $8.2 million. but it's only $6.7 million dead cap hit. You only save 10 the year after that. The reasoning why there, I think it's kind of an insurance clause for Zeke's own deal of, hey, if I decline a little bit, or if I start to get a little bit tired, maybe it's still close enough that the Cowboys don't cut me and I still make that extra money. And then in 2025, 2026, there is no dead money. It's nothing. It is truly, barring extensions and restructures and other stuff, it is truly just simply a team option. They cut him, they have no dead money. So with all of that in mind, now please grade the Zeke Elliott deal. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me see here what these votes are flowing in right now. With almost 500 watching here. I give it more of the B grade myself. I think it's a good one. Seth says A. Raul says B. A. It's definitely an A for being done already. Get it? I see a Z. I don't even know what that means. A, B, B. I see one C from Jesus Ortiz. Lots of A's, though. If you want to pay a running back, which not everyone wants to do, and I understand why, but if you want to pay a back, this is why. This is how and why you do it. It's as team-friendly as I think it would have ended up being there for the Dallas Cowboys. And one more note on this as I watch your votes flow in. For those of you who have wondered about, well, wait a minute, I thought I saw that the Cowboys built in an out clause if Zeke gets suspended. It's actually very common in the NFL. In fact, that's the standard language, is that if you miss time, if you hold out, they can void your guarantees. If you get suspended, they can void your guarantees. It's what the Raiders might do with Antonio Brown. It's all of that in there. That is already built into the Zeke contract. So, yeah, there's guaranteed money. If Zeke gets suspended next month and it's bad, the Cowboys can find their way out of that contract. Now, what does this mean overall for the Cowboys? Now, if you're smart, and I know that all of you guys are watching because I've mentioned this about 1,800 times, you guys know it. But apparently there are idiots out there. It's the only way I can describe it. From the big lead, is Amari Cooper the odd man out? No, you morons. That headline is so incredibly wrong, and it was funny to me because I read the article, so you don't have to. The article was like, the Cowboys have $86 million in cap space for 2020, but with Dak Prescott, they might not be able to afford Amari. Yo, that's like first grade math. 86 minus at most 35, which isn't going to be. That's still a lot of money left. The Cowboys, guys, have more than enough cap space to re-sign Amari Cooper and to re-sign Dak Prescott. And for Amari in particular, if a deal does get done, his cap hit will drop from the $14 million it's going to be. It will go down. They will make his base salary a signing bonus over 5 years. 14 divided by 5, it's almost 3. You got plenty of money to save there. And beyond that, the Cowboys have money this year. Here's the teams with the most NFL cap space left per Field Yates of ESPN. Colts, Browns, Dolphins, Texans, and Bills. Okay, that makes sense. Next up, the Titans, and there are the Dallas Cowboys. They've still got $22 million left. And it's not a use it or lose it type scenario either. It rolls over into next year. That's why the Cowboys, folks, are projected $80 million in cap space in 2020, even after the Zeke deal, even after La'el Collins, even after Jalen Smith, all of that, they got money still. The Cowboys have planned this very, very well. Their structures have been very creative and very effective. On a micro level, the salary cap doesn't really exist, guys. Like, Tom Brady signed that 3-year extension. It's a 1-year deal. The last 2 years literally don't exist. Like, they're there for cap purposes, but next year, Brady's a free agent. It doesn't actually exist. Like, you can get super creative with these contracts. And oh, by the way, I'm starting to suspect a little bit more than I have before. Maybe, just maybe, Jerry Jones, who's actively involved on the TV side of things for the NFL, also knows the salary cap, when the new TV deal kicks in, is going to go up even more than the on average $10 million growth it's seen. Just throwing that out there as an idea. They're fine in terms of money. So here's the question. Who signs next for the Dallas Cowboys? Is it Dak Prescott? Is it Amari Cooper? Or do we get surprised again and it ends up being somebody else? Now, maybe it happens before week 1. Maybe it doesn't happen before week 1. Maybe it's mid-season. Maybe it's later on. I don't know. Let me know. D or C or O for other. I see mostly D's in the comment section, some sprinkling of C's. We'll come back to the Dak contract stuff here. But first, guys, predict the score of the Cowboys versus the Giants game. Coming up later, we will have a more in-depth preview between the Cowboys and the Giants. And if you are the first one to get the score exactly correct, we'll Venmo you $25. Of course, you have to be subscribed to us here on the Cowboys Report YouTube channel, because otherwise, what's the point? But you're watching it, so just hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Predict the score. Cowboys versus Giants. You can DM me if you want. First one to get it right, you guys up with $25 via Venmo. Next up, the Dak Prescott contract extension. We briefly mentioned it yesterday morning, but there was other stuff going on because Zeke got signed. Jared Goff got the bag. 4 years, $134 million, with $110 of that guaranteed. Now, I think that guaranteed money might be a little bit fake, in the sense of that's not all. Maybe there's injury guarantees like in year 4 that he might not see if he plays terribly, but we'll see what it actually ends up being. I'm sure at some point down the road here. Now, Ed Warner reports the Cowboys are still trying for a deal. Jane Slater says there's nothing really new to report. I think, by the way, both those things are true. Of course, they're still trying for a deal. It doesn't mean there's anything new or of note to report. Now, you guys know this, that I have ripped the Cowboys several times before, mostly with the DeMarcus Lawrence contract talks of, hey, get the damn deal done. Make some progress here. But with especially Amari Cooper and also Dak Prescott, it does take two to tango. You have to actually have both sides willing to get a deal done. I do not think that Dak Prescott's plan was to sign before Jared Goff and sign before Carson Wentz. I think Dak Prescott, who, by the way, hired CAA, the agency, which is basically just signing the best agent to get yourself paid the most. It's like signing Scott Boras in baseball. Like, you're trying to get paid. So now, the market, I think, has very much crystallized for Mr. Dak Prescott. Jared Goff, 33.5. Carson Wentz, 32.0. So, Russell Wilson, 35. Big Ben, 34. Aaron Rodgers, 33.5. All of those, I don't think you see Dak at 35. I could see him asking for 35 plus. The report was he did. But I think he gets, look, Carson Wentz got a little bit more than Jared Goff. I think you'll see a scenario where Jared Goff makes a little bit more, or Dak Prescott makes a little bit more than Jared Goff. So that's the per year numbers. Of course, guaranteed matters. Big Ben kind of its own separate thing there. The A-Rod deal's a little bit earlier. So I could see 34 being the price tag here for Dak Prescott. And the reality is, Dak is well within his rights to actually ask for that deal. Look at the production between Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, and Dak Prescott. Yes, Jared Goff was garbage his first year. Carson Wentz wasn't that much better. But we've got 3 years of sample size. I believe that trying to throw out the first year is manipulating the sample size, and it's manipulating the argument there. Yards per attempt. Goff does have 7.7. But look at the touchdowns. And that's total, by the way. It doesn't include rushing touchdowns because they count the same as a passing touchdown. The fumbles are about the same for all 3 guys, by the way. So do I believe that Dak Prescott is the most talented of those 3? Not necessarily. But there is an argument for all 3 players to say, hey, I should be paid the most. And with the way contracts work, those 3, the last guy ends up getting paid the most. So keep that in mind with Dak Prescott. And for Dak, look, he's making $2 million this year. I would not be that surprised if Dak's agency says, okay, let's get this done before week 1, just in case of injury. And that way, he's going to get $100 million guaranteed. Is it a gamble to get $100 million guaranteed now and versus playing for $2 million this year and hoping, hey, I get $115? Plain deal, no deal? I think no. Now, I will be out of town starting tonight, Friday, Saturday, and I will be back. Don't worry. Time for week 1 of the NFL. I would not miss that. So does Dak sign while I am out of town? Type 1 for yes or type 0 for no. I, by the way, did half-jokingly predict this on Twitter like 3 days ago, and all of a sudden I am kind of more concerned about it. So does Dak sign? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Now, I am out of town because a friend of mine, or really I guess a friend of my wife's, is getting married. Very important question here. Is it okay to have a wedding during football season? Yes or no? I think the answer is no. Let me know what you guys think. Vote in the comments section. Producer Alicia, she said no. I know producer Brett says no. I know James says no. I think Mitchell says no, but who knows with him? I don't even think he can even read the question here. I see some yeses in there, and you are all insane. You're all insane. It is not okay to have a wedding during football season. Look, the months of September, October, November, December, and January to some extent, even early February, that's for football, not for getting married. Go do it in May like I did, because I'm a responsible adult. I got married after the NFL draft, because I'm not an idiot. The answer is no. There are way too many S's in there in the comments section. One last news rumor item here for you guys today, and that is on La'el Collins. Now, I know a lot of you guys wanted Collins to move back to offensive guard. I was on board with that idea after the selection of Connor McGovern. However, and Jerry Jones basically confirmed this as well, the new extension for La'el Collins, it locks him in at right tackle. It locks him in. He is going to stay at the right tackle spot. Now, it does put Connor McGovern in a pretty weird situation. He was drafted in round 3. We all kind of thought, oh, this means that you're going to see Williams kick out to right tackle, McGovern at left guard. It's not really how it happened here, though. That's the big problem here for the Cowboys. Now, many wanted, I know you guys, a lot of you guys wanted this here. I don't know what ends up happening there with the Cowboys overall in terms of that offensive line. So McGovern probably now is just depth for you. If Williams sucks this year, maybe you end up in a scenario where, I don't know, they make Connor the swing tackle, they give McGovern a shot. I'm not really sure, but I think in the end here, you end up seeing a scenario where La'el Collins remains your long-term right tackle. Connor Williams is your long-term left guard because they did spend a higher pick on him than they spent on Connor McGovern. So just keep that in mind, but that's where we sit right now in terms of McGovern, Collins, and Williams as well. But Collins seems to be that long-term right tackle for you, the Dallas Cowboys, for the next several years. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.